Happy September new moon in Virgo. The new moon is the first phase in our 29-day lunar cycle and it represents new beginnings. So I thought this was the perfect time to kick off this moonrise space, and I am so excited to be here with you today. I love the energy of the new moon. When the skies get dark, I love to reflect that same dark and quiet energy within my home and my habits. It's a really beautiful chance to reset things. And this particular new moon is fun because it's a supermoon. So that means it's that much closer to the earth and the energy is that much more intense. And as we're shifting towards the fall equinox and the change of seasons, this is a really great time to shift things for yourself and in your life. Maybe taking some of the things that you loved from the summer season with you and also creating some new dreams and goals and intentions for the next season to come. It's a time to create some new habits. So maybe it's getting cozier or changing up your self-care routine or making warmer foods for yourself, pulling out those DIY projects or the fall decorations that you've been looking forward to. And today's practice is a super grounding, slow, calm yin practice. So you can pull this one out anytime you want that kind of energy, even if it's not under a new moon. In today's practice, you're going to need a prop or two. I pulled out a yoga block. You can definitely always use a yoga block, or you could use a yoga bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you could definitely pull some pillows off of your bed or off of your couch, and those should work just fine. If you don't have any of the above, you could also roll up a big blanket, and that would work as well. I'm also going to use some crystals at my mat today. I'm working with Smokey Quartz. So because of the grounding properties that Smokey Quartz has, I felt like it was the perfect stone to use in this new moon practice today. It can offer up a lot of really calm intentions and feelings as well, and energies. So for me, I like to use Smokey Quartz when I am trying to set grounding intentions or calming, reflective intentions. I'm going to put this bigger piece at the crown of my head, so right at the top of my mat, and then I'm going to use a smaller Smokey Quartz point throughout practice, maybe at my heart center or at my third eye center, as it kind of lends itself within our poses that we're taking. And we're going to get started laying down on our spine today. I'll meet you on your mat. So today, let's get started in supported bridge pose. Have your prop nearby you. For me, I'm going to use a yoga block. In supported bridge, we're going to roll down onto our spine. And then draw your heels close in towards your hips. You'll want the soles of your feet on the ground. And press into the soles of your feet to lift your hips up off of your mat, and then take your yoga prop, so I'm going to use my block, and place it underneath your sacrum, so right underneath your hips. I personally like to use my yoga block here on the widest side, but that's just personal preference. You can definitely up level it a bit if you want more height, and if the width of the block doesn't bother you that way. And if you are going to use a crystal, whatever crystal you have at hand for this practice today, you might want to place it on your third eye center or on your heart center as you're setting your intention. Today you can place your palms down onto your mat if you would like to ground and calm under this new moon. Or if there's some energy that you're hoping to receive, flip your palms up to the sky. In supported bridge, I always love to place my palms to my belly and just let that oceanic rise and fall of my breath kind of lull me off into calm. And we'll exhale our breath out. Find a really large inhale. Open mouth, sigh it out. Allow your eyes to close if they haven't yet. You can use the first few breaths of this practice as a reflection back on the past season, or looking forward into some new dreams and hopes that you have for this upcoming season. Under September's new moon, what is it that you would like to create? And it can be as simple as one small self-care habit that you commit to moving forward. Or maybe it's the most massive dream that you've ever had. And throughout practice today, if your thoughts tend to wander, you can always come back to your intention. Or if you're using this practice just to get present and find some calm under the new moon, you can absolutely just follow the pace of your breath. Just allow your thoughts to start to fade away from your really direct, concrete intention, more towards your breath, and allow them to stay in the present. Take your last few breaths here. Notice the ground underneath the soles of your feet, your prop underneath your hips. Feel the ground underneath your triceps and your back and the back of your head. If you've placed a crystal on your body, notice the gentle weight of it. Maybe notice the vibration of it. Just all that has changed even in the first few minutes of our practice. So if you have placed a crystal on your forehead or your chest, just remember to take that guy off and place it over to the side. And then we'll press into the soles of our feet to lift our hips back up off of our prop and take that prop out from underneath you. Let's take knees to chest for a moment. Just give yourself a circle with your knees clockwise and a circle counterclockwise. And we'll move into a reset for our spine. For pentacle pose, you'll stretch hands away from your feet. So hands come up above your head. Reach your fingers long away from your toes. Big inhale breath. And then an open mouth exhale. I like to cactus my arms a little bit, so just a little bend through my elbows here. Arms are above my head but to the ground. Feet are spread away from one another. It's like this star-shaped Shavasana. Just let yourself feel heavy on the ground. Let the ground take the weight of your body, melting into the earth underneath you. If you ever get to this position and it doesn't feel great on your lower spine, you can instead take constructive rest. So for that variation, you'll instead send your heels back in towards your hips, soles of your feet to the ground, but reach them out towards the outside of your mat and your knees drop in towards one another. Just a couple more breaths, whichever variation you're taking. And then let's draw knees towards chest. Take a little side to side rock. And allow yourself to sway so far over to one side that you eventually plop over into a fetal position. And rest your head on your bicep. Stay for a breath or so. And then we'll press up into our hands back to a seated position. Hi guys, we're gonna move next into butterfly pose. So for butterfly, send the soles of your feet together. And if you feel like your pelvis is kind of rounding forward, almost as if, to exaggerate it, your back is rounding that way, you can definitely roll up your mat or a little towel underneath you. So I would roll maybe this top little layer that I've got underneath my hips just to prop everything up so that my spine stacks more vertically. That's an option for you. Other ways you can use props here, if your knees feel like they're hanging heavy and they don't feel very good, you might want to use some props underneath your knees. You could also place a prop at the top of your feet, in front of your feet, or in between your feet, and utilize that for your forehead as you come down into this pose. It really truly does not matter how close or far away from your body your feet are. It's a total personal preference, so play with that as well. If you have a pillow or a bolster, you might actually want to use that on top of your legs and let that be your cushion coming down. So we're going to find just a little bit of length in through our spine. Take an inhale breath. And then on your exhale, slowly walk it forward. I love to take a little sway side to side here and allow yourself to eventually find a space that's not pushing your stretch too much, but you notice the sensation in your body. Find that edge. We've got the benefit of a rounded back in this pose. Most of our ribs are located in our back. The large majority are. In between our ribs are muscles called intercostal muscles. So this is a really, really great pose, even for the flexibility within your rib cage. You can allow your breath to be a bit over-exaggerated or just focus on sending it towards your back body. Big inhales that stretch those intercostals. And on your exhales, they relax. Maybe on your exhale, it's the place where you melt into your expression just a little bit more. Again, not pushing it, not noticing any sharpness in our joints. If you do, that is your cue to back out a bit. Let yourself notice that sensation of the stretch. We're just about halfway through in butterfly. So maybe staying exactly where you are is what you need. Or this could be an opportunity to shift your props around, deepen your pose just a little bit more. This might be your cue to come back to the rhythm of your breath or your intention for this practice. On these last few breaths in butterfly, notice if you're pushing away from the ground at all. Notice if your shoulders are reaching up to your ears. Can you let them melt down on your next exhale? When you're ready to change, just slowly walk your hands in towards your body. Round up one vertebra at a time and let your head come up last. Lovely job. We're going to take that prop out from in front of you if you had one there. Let's extend legs long. Just give them a little shake out, some movement after your forward fold. We're going to take the opposite expression now. So if you know where you're going in supported fish pose, you can just start to head there. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you could use props. So first off, if you've got yoga blocks, you'll place it lengthwise along your spine. And you might choose to use just one prop. You might want to have a second at hand for your head. So if you're using the block, you'll roll down onto it. And it kind of takes a little bit of an adjustment at first just to figure out where it feels good between your shoulder blades and avoiding that last floating rib. Let the back of your head come down towards your mat, or if you prefer that your head is even with your heart, that's where you can use maybe a pillow or a second yoga block underneath it. And if you're going to use a pillow or yoga bolsters instead, or maybe you've got a big old blanket that you're going to roll up, then you can take that and place it behind your hips. And same thing, you'll roll down onto your prop. With a pillow, it's a little, maybe just a little less adjustment. It's a wider space right off the bat. So for me, I don't feel like I need to adjust it as much. And whether you have blocks or pillows or blankets behind you, you can choose to extend your legs long, or you can send the soles of your feet back together like they were in butterfly pose. And open your knees out wide. Again, if you're utilizing this practice today to ground down and calm your energy, place your palms down. You can flip them up if you're receiving energy. You could place one hand to your heart and one to your belly. This is another beautiful place to use your crystal. I'm going to place mine at my third eye center. Come back to your intention. Under these dark skies tonight, what is it that you're seeking? Calming self-care practice, gratitude for the past season, or a new dream. And we're just about halfway through supported fish, nothing to change. Allow your thoughts to follow your breath. And take your last few breaths here. Let your breath be over exaggerated. So each inhale, your heart maybe lifts up to the sky just a little. And your exhales, your shoulders relax down even more. When you're ready to change, if you have placed a crystal at your third eye or your heart, don't forget to take that guy off. And if your knees are open wide in butterfly, draw them back close towards one another. We'll extend our legs long to exit from supported fish. Press into your forearms to lift up and off of your prop, and then take your prop out to the side. You may want to have your prop next to you just in case we need it when we're back down on the ground. We're going to lay back down towards pentacle pose or constructive rest. So big inhale, stretch fingers away from your toes. Exhale, find your reset. And once more, let's walk heels in close towards our hips. We are going to draw knees in towards our chest and then drop both knees over to the left. This is easy twist. And I like to scooch my bottom hip out so that it kind of stacks underneath my top hip. So I've got my left hip on the bottom here. Knees are dropping to the left. You can choose to drop knees all the way to the ground, or maybe you'd like a little pillow underneath them. You could also put a prop between your knees if that feels better. And if there is a different supine twist that you're craving more in your body this evening, then absolutely go for that. I'm going to cactus my arms and just allow my right shoulder to fall back down to the ground. There's nothing to force here. Your breath is actually doing the work for you. So each inhale that you're taking, you might notice your spine lengthen just a little extra. And on your exhales, your spine naturally twists. Last few breaths. And to change, just roll right back onto your spine, and let's kind of continue this as a little sway, side to side with your knees, giving yourself a little lower back massage, just a little love for your spine. With knees tucked into your chest, when you're ready, allow them to drop over to the other side. So this time, I'm dropping my knees to the right. My right hip is stacking underneath-ish my left, and then I'm going to open that left shoulder back up, cactusing through my arms. Lengthy inhales. Sigh out your exhales. Last few breaths here. When you're ready to change, again, just rock right back to center and let that rock continue a little bit. A little self-massage for your lower back. And if you do have a small crystal point that you've been practicing with, you can go ahead and grab it once more. Wrap your arms around your shins as your knees find stillness. Draw your forehead towards your knees. Come back once more for your intention, for this practice and under this new moon. Big inhale breath to that. Open mouth, exhale, setting up into final Shavasana. So reach your right foot away from your left. Allow your knees to relax away from one another. This time I'm going to put my Smokey Quartz right at my heart center. And open your arms away from your body. Flip your palms to the sky. Might feel good to slightly tuck shoulder blades underneath you. Any little shakes or wiggles that you need to get out. Then together, exhale out your breath. And find your biggest inhale of your day so far. Open mouth, sigh out your exhale. And allow yourself to just be in Shavasana. If you are not quite ready to exit Shavasana, you can absolutely roll over and turn me off, or you can just allow my voice to fade into the background and stay right here. Otherwise, begin with a little wiggle of your toes. And let that movement translate up your legs. So you might start bringing your knees into the action and your hips start to wiggle, your fingertips, your arms, your chest shifts around. Probably a good spot to take your crystal back off if you haven't yet. And we'll draw right knee and then left knee in towards your chest. Come right back to your side to side rock. And again, you'll rock it so far to one side that you eventually fall over into a fetal position, maybe taking it to the opposite side this time. And let your head again rest on your bicep. And when you're ready, begin to sit up. Come to a comfortable seated position so you can cross your knees, your legs in Sukhasana, or you can sit hips to heels in Seiza pose. And if you did bring a crystal into your practice, you might want to put it between your palms. We're going to draw hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra. Come back again to your intention under this new moon. Notice the calm that you've brought into your body and into your mind just by dedicating this time to your self-care. maybe even a thought about how you could carry that into the rest of your week. On your next inhale, lift your hands up to third eye center. And exhale, bow down in honor of showing up to your own self-care. Namaste, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me in this new moon practice. I hope that it served you very well to find calm, grounding energy, or to just really put energy towards your new intention moving forward. Please know that this practice is always here whenever you're seeking that calming energy. You can access it under any new moon or on any old day of the week, and I can't wait to practice with you again. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, and I'll see you soon.